Today's workshop is focused on tips for healthy living. Emotional, mental, physical, and spiritual well-being, for your spiritual well-being. Okay? So, like I said, we're looking forward to my panelists speaking for a few minutes and just, having fun today. Okay? After this, please, I'm going to give each one of you all a ticket, and that's your lunch ticket. So hang on to it, because when we finish here, you're going straight down. And after that, I will ask that you go into the vendors. The vendors is between 50 and 60 vendors that's in the room. So just go around and look and see if there's anything. I also asked today if you would like to become a member of Far Southeast Collaborative and stuff. And we'll send out what we do every month to you. And you can sit on one of the boards or whatever. You don't have to if you don't want to.
I need to be on the board because I need to have been elected. I feel real bad today.
Okay. So, like I said, the lunch is supposed to start at 12, but it probably started around 12:15 today. Okay? And also, at the very end, just a quick evaluation of what you thought about today's class. Okay? Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hello.
So, we'll start now with our panelists. They're going to introduce themselves, and they're going to give you a spiel of the organization or what they work for, or what they do, okay? So, we like to sign in. You can have a seat. We're about to start.
These are more my kids. They just follow me everywhere.
Oh, that's what they're supposed to do, Mom. Right? I say, yeah, right. Our first person that's going to come is Miss Karen. Dr. Karen will be our first speaker on the panelists, okay? So let's give her a welcome.
Well, first giving honor to the creator of this universe and all that inhabits it, and to my mother, Shirley Hardy, the elder in my life, I greet you all in love and kindness. My parents called me Karen Davis. I'm married, took my husband's name, Foulks, Karen Davis-Foulks. The community calls me Khadija Abdul-Malik, and I'm known as Dr. K. I am a conscious healthcare educator and practitioner. When I say conscious healthcare educator, I support you with understanding, hoping that you can accept the fact that you are totally responsible for your health care. And that's what I share with each individual to support them with understanding that you have the power innately within you to correct any cellular malfunctions that you may have. When I say I work in the field of quantum health and healing, non-secular science of medicine, which means that I honor and respect the Western medical industry, but that is not a healthcare industry. That industry is for catastrophic events, and when you find yourself in major accidents, it is not healthcare. Healthcare is self-care, is self-responsibility. We may not have been taught healthcare in the schools. We may not have forgotten the information that our family has shared with us. My movement with the arc of self-healing and self-help, health education for longevity and peace, is to be a gentle reminder of the power that you possess and to bring about new terminology to help you be aware of the fact that you can and you are responsible for your health. And so we like to say that disease is a belief. It's a business of belief. And that the first thing that we ask individuals to do is recognize that you cannot do anything with a disease but manage it. And we like to help you overcome that with learning a new terminology that you have cellular malfunctions. Your cells can malfunction when you don't properly provide your body with the correct raw materials for your cells to generate and maintain and create energy so that you will have endurance to do the things that you need to do. And so that's the biggest challenge and change for individuals, is to realize that you don't have a disease so you can start waiting for a cure. It's been over 200 years and you're never going to find one in that industry because it's about a business of promoting pharmaceuticals. So my movement is not only to support people with understanding the power that they possess, but it's also a movement to support predominantly the African American community with releasing of pharmaceuticals. Pharmaceuticals are not kin nor kind, nor do they help the body at all. Pharmaceuticals, what they do is they take over the biochemical processes of your body. And when it does that, that means your bodies cannot function well with the raw materials of fruits and vegetables to give your body the proper minerals so that cells can function correctly. So pharmaceuticals interfere with that process, creating blockages and stagnation in the inflammation so the cells cannot properly do their jobs. Because we haven't been taught that cells listen to information from the foods that you eat and from the thoughts that you think. And the body works that way. And so pharmaceuticals blocks that process. The second thing that pharmaceuticals do is they dehydrate the body. You're trying to rehydrate your body, and if you stay on that medication, it dehydrates the body. And when it dehydrates the body, it puts the body in a state of stagnation and blockages. So therefore, you create constipation. You maintain a lot of mucus in your body. And when you have a lot of mucus in your body, they call it bacteria and viruses, and the cells can't function properly. So from the youngest age to the oldest age, we have been giving truth twisted with a lie. And our mission is to correct that truth and to let each individual know that they can take self-care and self-responsibility. So I established a day in 2011 called Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day. We celebrate this day every April 30th, and we're coming up on our 3rd anniversary. We'll be celebrating. And we celebrate individuals that are moving forward to release themselves from medication, from the thought and fear of a disease, to take their power back within themselves. So when these individuals do that, we honor them, we support them, we stand with them. So on this day, we recognize those individuals that may have been on medication for 20 years. They're not angry, they're not upset, because now they have the power. No matter how long they've been on it, they can take back control of their health, because the body is divine. It loves the love that you give it. And when you give it love, it responds to love. And so we honor them. And then we honor someone in the community that's a visionary, that stepped forward with their truth and their understanding, that's not popular, that's not seen as correct by many, many people. And we honor their choice to step forward and help people take back the power of their health. So we honor a practitioner in the community on that day as well. And then we honor individuals that spread the word to let people know that this movement is here, that this movement is true, that it's called the art of shift. We're moving from disease care to conscious self-health care. Because the only reason why we're losing a generation is because they don't understand that the foods are no good for them. They're totally chemical-based now. 80 years of giving us foods that does not nourish the body or allow the body to perform at its best. As you can see, we all can live on junk food. We all living here, but how well are we living? And our kids are suffering even more. They are dying and leaving before their parents, and their parents can't take the loss and don't understand why our children are suffering because of a disease care industry that benefits off of our emotions. Our kids, as well as our adults, each of us are a little constipated. So my mission is to help people understand that the foods constipate you, the drugs constipate you, and the thought that you can't believe that you can't do it yourself constipates you. So we're here to help you awaken to the divine being that you are. You hear it every day in your Bibles. You hear it every day in your seminaries. You hear it everywhere. And now we're just trying to say is, don't keep yourself separated from you. It's all within you. Connect, reconnect to who you are. And we're here to help you with that movement. When you see this picture in the community, this picture represents free yourself from pharmaceuticals. Free yourself from the negative thoughts that you don't have the power to take care of yourself. Free yourself so you can ask your children, how well are you doing? If you haven't asked your kids lately, how do you feel? Ask them, how do they feel? They're constipated and they can't tell you that they're constipated because they don't understand what that means. If your kids are eating sodas and candy and donuts and McDonald's and packaged frozen fruits, they are constipated. And they don't understand what's going on with them because a lot of us adults, we're constipated too. And we want to free that up. So this print means that you have an opportunity to return to love, to support yourself. So we're asking all practitioners, anyone is in an advocating position to team with us to spread the word so our community can raise up from a depression of feeling as though they are victims to a disease care system. Thank you.
You're welcome. Ms. Karen, very, 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 very enlightening. But I want to ask you another question. April 30th, what's the day called?
It's called Emancipate Yourself from Medical Mental Slavery Day. And it's a day just to remind individuals that you can make a step forward and come off of your medication. And so each of you have a flyer from me. It's an article. I normally write for the Washington Informer newspaper. So if you're not a regular reader of that paper, please become a regular reader of that paper. We have different kinds of information in there for you about how you can take responsibility. And on that flyer, you also have the day of the event. If you're 65 or older, you have been sponsored. Your tickets are $15. We ask everybody else to pay a minimum of $25 to come to that event. And also, I'm doing a special for our 3rd anniversary from all the people that have taken themselves off of medication. I have a program that you can come to me with any of your prescriptions that you're on, and I'll actually tell you how that prescription medication matches your symptoms that you are having. And you may consider to let go of the medication and bring aboard a herbal product. I don't recommend too many supplements, but I do recommend everything from God. And that's herbs, and that's everything come from the land. So you have an opportunity for me to evaluate you personally with your pharmaceuticals, to let you know any interaction that you may have with herbs, or what your symptoms are related to, your new symptoms. They may be related to how long you've been on a form of medication. So I give you the opportunity to mash it up and create a whole new paradigm for yourself.
Thank you, Dr. K. And at the very end, we'll have question and answer before we leave out, okay? If anybody have more questions, okay? You want to ask something?
Where can we get that picture at that you have?
Actually, they'll be on sale at the event if you to come to the event, but you can also call me and you can get a copy as well. And I'm hoping that Far Southeast Collaborative, as always, they have been very supportive of my work. It's not something that is optioned by everybody else, and they have awarded me over 7 grants to put this information in the community. So I'm hoping that they will actually become a partner and offer the print to the community.
Would you donate one to the Berry Farm community?
Yes, I work with them all the time. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to do some workshops at the Berry Farm.
Thank you, sweetie.
Thank you, Dr. K.
If they constipated, we got broom salad. Tell them, Miss Brooke. Tell them, Miss Linda, we got broom salad for them.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Okay. For our second panelist, we're going to let Miss Deanna Wright go for the second. Okay?
So, hi everybody.
Hello.
Hi. Want to first thank Far Southeast Family Collaborative for inviting us. My name is Deanna, and I'm a current senior at the University of the District of Columbia, majoring in psychology. And this semester, I've had the great opportunity to be an intern at Ascensions Psychological Community Service, Inc. So, Ascensions is a mental health. How do I put this? It's a mental health. We offer mental health services to peoples in Ward 7 and 8. And how Ascension started is Dr. Streeter, once she got out of graduate school, let me go back. She was interning in the prison system, and some of the prisoners were all from the D.C. area, had expressed to her that if they had had mental health resources, they felt that they wouldn't be where they were, that they wouldn't be in prison. So she decided to check D.C. out, and what she found was when she came to Southeast that there were no mental health facilities, that she couldn't find a job because they just didn't exist because there were no mental health facilities, that there were no licensed clinical psychologists in Southeast, in Ward 7 and 8. So she decided to open up her practice in Ward 8, and that no matter if you couldn't afford to pay for her services, she would still see you. That we would do a sliding scale, that anyone who wanted mental health services, who wanted to talk to a counselor, who wanted to talk about anything, we would be there for them. So it's been a great experience thus far. So today, what I'm going to talk to you about is, we have this motto at Ascensions that healthy mothers equal healthy communities. So I don't know if all you in here are mothers, so I'll just say healthy women equal healthy communities. So I want to give you guys 5 tools for staying mentally healthy. And the first one would be journaling. So journaling trains you to express your thoughts and prevent you from losing information. And when you don't have anyone to talk to, you can just write down your thoughts. It's always a good go-to, journaling. And the second one is sometimes what we forget to do is just taking simple time for yourself. Sometimes we get so indulged in our relationships, with family members, with having children, with work and jobs, that we don't take time for ourselves. Whether it's taking a walk, reading a book, going to get your hair done, just taking time for self and not feeling bad about taking time for self because it's needed. And then the third one would be to create your board of directors. And what I mean by board of directors is that everyone needs a team. Everyone needs a support system. So you need those go-to people when you're having issues in your personal life to help you and support you along the way. We don't get there alone. We get there as a community, as a team. That's how we become successful. And then the fifth one is create a happy box. So when everybody, I feel as though, needs pick-me-ups of when, they're feeling down or having a bad day. So in this box, it should be, pictures, your favorite CD, your favorite movie, just anything when you're feeling down, favorite song, iPad, anything. You put anything in that box that when you're feeling down to give you that pick-me-up, to get you through that day when you're feeling down. So, yeah. And then
Did I skip one?
No, she only said 4.
4. Okay.
Did I?
Uh-huh.
Number 4. What's number 4?
I was waiting.
So number 1 was
Journaling.
journaling. Number 2 is taking time for yourself. Number 3 is create your board of directors.
Number 4 is the box.
Number 4 is create your healthy box.
And number 5, we didn't hear.
Oh my God, so maybe I only wrote down 4. I'm sorry.
Just make up one. I'm loving it so far. I'm loving it.
Trust your intuitive self.
That's a good one.
Trust your intuitive
Trust
self.
your intuitive self. Oh, I know what number 5 was. I know what it was. Number 5 was don't be afraid to seek mental health. So historically,
Trust your intuitive self.
historically, psychology has been from the European Western perspective. They haven't been very receptive, so therefore it hasn't been very receptive. It hasn't been very receptive to African Americans. They haven't cared about our spirituality, our mind, body, and soul. So don't be afraid to seek out a mental health facility. Don't think that you're crazy or something's wrong with you because you want to speak to a third party who isn't the traditional support system of your mom, your sister, your grandmother. Don't be afraid to seek out that third party. So that's
Intuitive self.
Nice five.
yeah, that's number 5. So yeah. And then also, if you're noticing your seats, chairs, we have like fact sheets about different things for African American women. Miss Morgan has some flyers if you need some. And then every Tuesday, we're offering something called an Ascending Sisters Circle Group. It's a support group where we just come together and talk about our issues that happen to us on that Tuesday. And it's free every Tuesday from 8 to 9, right here on Howard Road around the corner. So free to any women in the community who want to just share. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Question.
Sister Circle before, is this a whole nother Sister Circle?
It's a different group
It's
altogether.
a different group.
But the circle concept,
Oh, okay.
but a different group altogether. I know what you're saying.
And one more thing. Every time I seek mental health, they give me medicine. I don't want that.
Well, we're psychologists and we don't prescribe, so we're not going to give you any medicine. So you don't have to worry about that.
I don't need no more medicine. I tell
Yeah,
you.
we're not going to give you any medicine. We don't
It's
prescribe.
I appreciate you, Miss Deanna. Thank you so much. And now the third person we'll have is Miss Linda. Dr. Linda, you want to talk to us?
All right. I'm Dr. Linda Thompson. I'm a licensed nutritionist. I do a lot of work in the Berry Farm area. I have some of my people in here with a group called SHIRE. We do health education, health support to members of Ward 8. SHIRE has a obesity prevention collaborative that's open to anyone in Ward 8 to become a member. I'm also a professor at Howard University, and I teach nutrition, and I really am grateful for my experiences so that I can share with young, new budding nutritionists who can come out and give good information. I want to follow up on Dr. K. She hit some very interesting points. One thing that I found in our community is that we have the feeling like, well, a fatal idea about disease. Well, my grandmother had it and my mother had it, so I know I'm going to have it, so I might as well say if it's high blood pressure, it doesn't matter if I eat a lot of salt or not, because I'm going to get it anyway, so I might as well enjoy my food and salt it up. But that's not true. Oftentimes what happens is people in our family do the same thing. They eat the same way, the way the great-grandmother cooked, the grandmother cooked, and then the mother cooked, and then, it goes on and it's passed down in the family. So if they're doing the same things, they're going to get the same results. And so making a change, make a commitment to say, I can take control of my health. I don't have to be sick. It's up to me. Because as I tell people, there might not be a lot of things in your life that you can control, but you can control what you put in your mouth. And that's for real. And these fast food places, McDonald's, I did an experiment. I took a McDonald's just hamburger and I kept it out. And it took about 5 days before mold started growing on it. 5 days sitting in a warm room. So you can imagine the amount of chemical, and it smelled, even though it had mold, it smelled like it just came out of the oven. So it's just, we're not eating real food. And I know it's easy, I know it's cheap, but also I know that if we cook, if we fix our own food, we're in control of what we're putting in our mouths, because we're in control of what's in that food. So there's a lot of weight, like beans are cheap. You can buy a bag of $1.99 beans and feed 5 people. Throw some vegetables in it, and have a little brown rice on the side that don't cost much. You have a whole meal for people that just costs about $5. But we don't think that way. Well, I'll take this $5 and get some of those. I don't eat at McDonald's, so I don't know what, but little dollar packages of whatever that they have in there. But it's keeping us sick. It's keeping us and enslaved in this whole fast food kind of thing. And also carry out. Now, I know we love our carry outs, but the carry out food is high in fat and high in salt. But there's some things that you can do if you have to hit a carry out. Put the sauce on the side, and I don't know if they have baked options. Get the baked instead of the fries. If it's wings, get the baked wings instead of the fried wings. There are things that we can do. Substitute baked for fried, because even though it's so simple to me that we are in control of our bodies. We can determine if we're going to be healthy or not. We can heal ourselves just by what we put in our mouth. Because 90% of the diseases that are out here that people have, hypertension, diabetes, obesity, elevated cholesterol, all of this is related to food and what we eat. And what we eat is not, if we were like animals, they know what to eat, when to eat, how much, and they stop eating. They don't overeat. But we have emotional connections to food. When we're stressed out, we eat. When we're sad, we eat. When we're happy, we eat. When somebody dies, we eat. When somebody's born, we eat. When somebody gets married, we eat. I mean, all the time. Easter, we eat. Thanksgiving, between Thanksgiving and New Year's, it's a food fest. Everywhere you go, somebody's offering you food. And we don't eat till we're full. We eat till we're stuffed. See, the brain tells the body when to stop eating. But when we start overeating, when we eat more, when we're full and we go beyond full, we override that body connection. See, the Creator has built us, has made us in a way that we can be perfectly healthy if we eat what we should be eating in the amounts and not overeat. And all these mechanisms in our brain, okay, I'm full. It lets us know, full, I need to stop. So that's where the Creator helps us to know when to stop eating. But again, we overeat, and the more we override our natural, God-given regulation about not eating too much, it becomes a habit, and we feel like if we're not feeling super stuffed, we're not getting enough food. It's not, I was at a restaurant the other day, and I ordered something, and they had this big plate, and there was a little bit of food in the middle. Well, I immediately got an attitude. Wait a minute, they gave me this little tiny bit of food, but once I started eating, and I finished eating, I was full. I was just right, not too little, not too much, just right. And I was thinking, if it had been more, I would have eaten more, and I would have overeaten. And we get in this attitude where it's food on the plate, we're out. Well, it's too much to leave, but not enough to take home, so I might as well just eat it because I don't want to waste food. Well, and that, again, we're overeating. We're overriding what God gave us to tell us to stop eating. We just go beyond that. So it's learning, and if you go out, if they give you a lot, have them bring a box half of it up before you eat. So it's already boxed up, and you can take it home so you're not so tempted to overeat. I mean, it's little things like that make a difference. But one of the biggest things that we can do for ourselves is cook for ourselves. And young people in here need to learn how to cook and how to cook healthy foods, which leads me to fruit and vegetables. One of the reasons why we get sick is because our immune system, which is when we eat foods that have bacteria, or we breathe in things that toxic fumes, or we're eating something like a lot of deli meats that has what's called nitrates in them. They're preservatives, but they cause cancer. Or when we eat a lot of red meats, it can cause things like colon cancer. So, but if we eat fruits and vegetables, they have what's called antioxidants in it. It's things that help to fight off diseases. But if we're not getting enough of that, then we don't have enough of an army to fight off, because your immune system is like your army, which fights off bacteria, viruses. So that's why people who have HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, which means that it's a virus that came in, it shuts down their immune system. So anything that they breathe in, if somebody coughs their way, they get a bad cold instead of nothing, because their army to fight off the germs are not in their body. It's not happening. So the more that we can strengthen our immune system, the better off we are. And something very simple and delicious are fruits and vegetables. There's a Ward 8 Farmers Market. You all got one of these. And I would like for you to pull out your cell phones, because I'm on the board of the Ward 8 Farmers Markets. It's over at the Ark. Last year we had a free shuttle in Ward 8. It stopped at 8 places to bring people to the market, and we didn't hardly get anybody to come to the market. If you're on WIC, you get double. If you have those WIC coupons, you get twice the amount. You get extra. If you have EBT cards, with senior vouchers, SNAP, all of these, you can get double your food dollars if you go to the market. So you're getting twice as much as if you bought it at Safeway or Giant. So we'd like, if you wish, take out your cell phones and text to this number. It's on here, 313131, and text in the text box, put W8FM. And you'll be registered to win a prize and possible free vouchers. And also, every now and then, you get a text saying, okay, the market's open, here's what we're offering. We're trying to get entertainment at the market. It might be a gospel group you might be interested in, but we'll let you know. So if you will text to this number and put that in the text box. Okay. Have I got any more time, or should I stop?
You got another minute.
I got 1 minute.
You have another minute. And I'm sorry, for who wasn't in the room back here, they ended up changing the time. This was supposed to be from 10:30 to 11:45. It was pushed back to 12 o'clock. That we're leaving that out of here at 12.
Okay. The other thing is that grow something. We can grow our own food. because as Dr. K was talking about all the foods and all the things that are in foods now that aren't healthy, you can get some seeds, some dirt, some water, and a pot and grow something. You can grow tomatoes, you can grow greens, you can grow anything you want. The more space, the more you can grow, but just in a box like that, you can grow a lot of stuff. So try it. All you gotta do is get some seeds and throw it in there. If you put your money together with people that you know, buy 2 or 3 kinds of seeds and grow something. It's good for your children to learn, because a lot of times children don't know where food comes from. They think that it comes out of Safeway and Giant, it just appears there. They don't have the connection that it grows from the ground, you pick it and then you take it somewhere, or you take it home and eat it. That connection is not there. So finding a space, a little bit of plot of dirt around. If you know, in Berry Farm, somewhere they got some dirt.
Don't say that.
They got somewhere.
Roaches eat our stuff up now.
Oh.
Maybe we could do a windowsill. Not in the dirt.
Okay, well, that's another conversation, but you know what I'm talking about. So I think I'm going to end it there. Oh, it's a recipe on the back of, you have a handout about fruits and vegetables, and on the back of that, there's a recipe for meatless greens. Who in here has had the meatless greens?
I make one.
All right. This recipe is off the chain. Am I not right? Okay. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
She had a question.
I did have, is it now or you want to do?
You can ask it now.
I just wanted to know where your practice is, if you have a practice, and also, do you treat patients with diverticulitis?
I don't particularly have, I don't have a practice, but I do see people sometimes. See me after and we'll talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And now we'll have our breathologist. It's Handi-Kendi. Kendi?
That's close enough.
Oh, okay. Give it to us.
Okay. Blessings and peace. I'm going to give praise and honor to Almighty God. My name is Ayo Handi-Kendi. I'm a certified breathologist. I practice in helping support others in relearning how to breathe for better life, health, and work. I'm also a certified laughter yoga instructor. I'm a certified senior movement instructor. I've been working with health and nutrition since, I'd say, 1970. I'm 62 years young now. 14 grandchildren, 3 great-grandchildren, another one on the way. I do a radio show. Me and Dr. K have radio shows on Interlight Radio. I've been doing community work for over 30 years. I'm a degree counselor, and I'm also spiritually degreed in having overcome child sexual abuse. I lost my son, who was age 16, and he was killed. My dad was the abuser in my life. I've lost a brother who attempted suicide. I did recreational drugs for about 10, 15 years and was addicted for 2 of those years. I'm now about 15 years drug-free. I say that only to just help people to understand that when I talk about stress, I've been dragged in the street and choked by my husband, second husband, and blessedly, Lord sent me the 3rd husband, and he and I are doing just fine for 12 years. But I say my story to say when I talk about stress and trauma, I know stress and trauma. And that we all know stress and trauma. That my story is probably no more big and huge and filled with a lot of drama than many of yours. And as I do my work in the community and I do a lot of relationship counseling, I hear tremendous stories that people have had to overcome, things that I say, hey, look, what I've been able to work with is pale in comparison to many of the stories that we hear. Because I believe we come into the world, and unfortunately there's stress and trauma at the very beginning of birth, when most of us come into the world and we take that first breath. And my years of experience have led me to understand the relationship between stress, trauma, and drama and our breathing. And it's simply something here that we're all doing, of course. We're all breathing right. No one in here is not breathing right. Okay, I just want to make sure. Because if you were not breathing, you would not be here. The breath of life is the first thing we do when we come into the world. It will be the last thing we do when we leave this world. But everything in between is made better by the way that we breathe. And when we first come into that in the world, that first birth trauma, where we've been in a water womb environment for 9 months, and we suddenly come out into the dry air, and many of us, unfortunately, come out in a very destructive, traumatic way, where doctors sometimes pull us out by our with forceps and our heads are crushed. Some of us are stuck in the wound and we, oh my God, am I going to make it? And we are forced, some of us, into the world. And there are others who come out into the world, and it may not be quite as traumatic like being stuck in, our mom's birth passage. But for almost all of us, 9 months we've been in a water environment, and suddenly we're in a air, dry environment where when we first come out, we and we're into a hot, dry environment. That first breath can be very scary for our babies, and that fear can stay stuck in our cellular thought process for the rest of our life. In my studies and my research, I've written a book called The Power of the Breath. I have a DVD, do workshops before millions of people in the study of how breath impacts everything. That first traumatic can be so filled with fear and trauma that stays stuck in our cellular memory, and our cells remember everything, that many of us from that point on struggle with our breathing. Anybody in this room is struggling with their breathing? Raise your hand. Okay, I see some. How many people in this room have asthma or have been told they have a respiratory issue? I'm like Dr. K, I try not to stay with the names of these. How many people just struggle with their breathing? How many people, when they go up the steps, they find themselves winded? Okay, good. How many people find that when they're in tension, they holding their breath, right? How many people, when you're afraid, are holding your breath? All right. On and on and on. Every time we move, our breathing changes, our breathing shifts. If we are able to manage our breath, we are able to manage life. If we are able to breathe through our traumas and our dramas, we are able to release the emotional energy that stays stuck in our cells. So the breath, just for that alone, is powerful. But let me go on, because this is a huge subject that I'm going to try to talk about in all of maybe 3 minutes, if I can do that. Just to be able to have emotional release is part of the power of the breath. Because of all the things that you have gone through in life, if you were able to breathe them through instead of having them stuck in your cellular memory, you would not continue to act out of some of the fear, the trauma, the struggle, the issues that actually still, you think we've gone past it, but they are still within your cellular being. And they come up at times just when you just may not even know why you're responding or reacting, where you may be getting angry over something and you're wondering, why am I getting mad? And truly, that's part of something that happened maybe years and years and years ago. Matter of fact, it happened. It can be a feeling that happened and you don't even have any connection with it at all. And part of my drug usage had to do with the fact that the cellular memory of all that trauma stuck in that room was still part of what I was holding my breath from, out of fear and pain and things that I could not relate to or could not deal with, but still very much stuck there. So we were drinking, we were trying to stimulate to be able to feel again, to be able to release the feeling of just being stuck and not able to move forward oftentimes in our life. simply by relearning how to breathe, we were able to open up cellular memory that allowed us to kind of relive it. We didn't physically relive all of it, but we felt some of the hitting and the fighting and the struggling and what we weren't able to do. We were able to actually allow that to actually happen. And then we were able to release that feeling, that emotional blockage, and therefore life flowed so much easier, and that tension was released. Many of us today are actually self-sabotaging ourselves from the fear of not being able to move forward from things we would love to do, and we don't know why. We don't remember the connection of those who told us, don't do that, and that's not a good thing, and hey, if you do that, that's going to mess you up for the rest of your life. Or the people who beat us into submission and said, no, you can't do this. Or the people who also did things that were even worse than that. But beyond emotional balancing, the breath is the most powerful component I could ever speak of. We do a session that 45 minutes is equal to 2.5 years of talk therapy. But beyond the emotional balancing, the breath is the connection between the spirit, the mind, and the body. Everything that you're going to see at this health fair or this experience is beneficial. But without the breath, there's no life. And so the first thing that we do is to help people to recognize if there's any imbalance in your life, if you can breathe, you will find that things will begin to shift. We need to eat, yes, but if we didn't eat for 45 days or more, we would live. We have to drink water, but if we didn't drink water for 21 or more days, we would also live. But if we don't have our breath to bring in the needed gas of the oxygen, which is the life force itself, the most vital component that every single cell must have, that everything that has life has breath, and everything that has breath has life. If we don't have that oxygen, 6 or more minutes, we're going on home to glory. So the breath is the first fundamental, most critical thing that we can look at to shift the spirit, the mind, and the body. And simply with changing the way that we breathe, and then using breath techniques, we will find that we'll be able to do a lot of the self-care concepts that we're talking about today, and we can advance our lives. We encourage people to simply notice your breathing. Most of us don't pay any attention to our breathing until we can't breathe. But notice when you're holding your breath. Notice when you're holding your breath and who you're around when you're holding your breath. There's usually some emotional stuff going on. Notice that if you're hungry, if you can stop and breathe deeply and fully and consciously, you won't want to eat as much. Notice that when you relearn how to breathe, people lose anywhere from 3 to 4 inches right off of their middle. And they have to get new pants a lot of times, or skirt sizes, because this underutilized muscle is where we really should be breathing from the diaphragm. And instead, most of us are still breathing high from the chest. So simply just on and on and on. I could tell you concepts and techniques. We talked about constipation. If you're having a hard time having a bowel movement, bend over and breathe into your belly. If you're having an asthmatic or having difficulty with your breath, connect with your breath and simply remind yourself to breathe into the hand on your belly. Breath can wake you up in the morning with some simple high energy breath techniques that give you more energy than any cup of coffee, and breath can help you calm down and go to sleep at night. And anywhere in between, techniques that you can learn, simple, easy techniques that you can learn and also share to your family, your children. Grab a screaming baby up there, yeah, and put them by your belly and relax them and breathe with them and watch how quickly they shift and slow down. Watch yourself as you're in the middle of a raging argument ready to snap somebody's head off, and just calm your nerves down and relax your mind simply by allowing yourself to breathe. And so we bring all these techniques under a concept called breathology. And I'm very proud and thankful that the Creator thought me worthy enough to be here long enough to be able to share these concepts and bring them to the rest of the world. Breathology is simply the art and science of relearning how to breathe and using breath techniques to change your spirit, your mind, and the body. And we certify breathologists. We're blessed now. We have about 42 breathologists in the D.C. metropolitan area. We've got 6 up in Columbia. We got about 6 in Baltimore. Sister Linda is one of them. Sister Dr. K is one of them. We would encourage you to consider practicing the way that you breathe. Play with your breath. Check it out. Be conscious of your breath. Recognize that truly there's power in our breathing. And the more you exercise this power, you will begin to change your life.
I mean, that was great. That was really great. Because I'm going home and I'm going to start practicing for the 3-inch off the belly.
Yeah.
I really am. I really am. I'm going to start. But
I don't know if you wanted to. I bought music if people wanted to have a chance to connect with the breathing, but if we can't,
because we are. They asked us to be out here by 12.
All right.
But we still have a 20-minute Zumba class to do.
Okay.
So we are. And we're about to move out. Now, Miss Wanda's going to talk to us for a minute.
Can
and
I
then
say
we're going,
one last thing? Before
Sure.
you do any exercise, even from walking up the stairs to walking around the block, but definitely before you do any movement, stop and breathe. Because the breath brings the needed oxygen into the muscles to relax the tension in the muscles. And breath is an aerobic exercise in and of itself. Okay?
And thank you so
You're
much.
welcome.
So while Miss
And I do
Wanda's
have a flyer.
okay, and while Miss Wanda is speaking, before we move out, I just want to pass out this. For everybody to complete real quick, there's a few questions. And can you please complete it, and you can put it up here when you're walking out the door to go out, you know? So as many as you can, please, let's go out and exercise before we eat this good food.
All right, so good morning. How's everybody doing this morning? First of all, I think you guys should give yourselves a round of applause for even participating today. Because anytime you take that time out of your day, because a lot of people are at home laid out, sleeping, getting extra time in, but what you've done is you've come out to get information, and that's the first start. So you have to be proud of yourself just for that, because you came out to get information that's going to help you to better yourself, or information that you can spread to someone else. As you know, everyone on the panel, and guys, thank you so much, there was a common thread. Everybody sort of spoke on the same things. It was said that we know what we need to do. We know, people tell us every day what we have to do, but it's sometimes hard for us to do those things. We know we shouldn't eat certain things, but, I'm just kind of running late today. I shouldn't buy McDonald's, but, what can I do? So what I do, my name is Wanda Thompson, and I am a Zumba instructor. I am the person that's going to make you move, right? I'm going to make you move so that when you finish moving, you don't want to stop at McDonald's. Because you're going to be like, shoot, I done worked out and I'm feeling good. I ain't eating no 1,400 calories and take away from all the good work I've done. When you are stressed, and stress, we talked about that, we can't control a lot of times when it's going to happen. I thought I was feeling good, woke up, told myself it's going to be a great day, right? And all of a sudden somebody cut me off, or somebody stepped on my new shoe. And I thought, now how could they just, that don't make no sense. It doesn't take much for us to, go back, right? What we do when you come to my class, we shake, we put on our skirts, we listen to a little Aretha Franklin, we go back in time, we party, we drop low, we do a little everything. You forget about everything. Because guess what, and I'll tell most people this, when you're dancing, think about that moment. And if you close your eyes for a moment and you think about a time when you were just out dancing, I don't care if it was a picnic, family reunion. When you're on that dance floor, what are you thinking about?
Feel better.
Most of the time, you can't even, if somebody told you when you were dancing right now, what were you just thinking about? You'd be like, nothing. Because I don't care how stressed you are, I don't care how you're feeling, when you start dancing, like you don't think about what they're going to eat tonight for dinner. You don't think about the bill that ain't been paid. It's just at that moment, it's gone. So we have so much fun in our Zumba class. I actually own a studio. I am the owner of Be Unique Body Works. So we talk about things like that, nutrition. We talk about the movement, because without one, you need both. Because you can eat right, but that breathing, that comes from movement. Because if you just sit still, it's going to be hard to really concentrate on how to breathe. You think about it when you're doing things. And so it's very important that you make that a part of your life. All right? So if you, take the stairs at work, that's good. If you stressed out, come on to Zumba. Because I promise you, when you're done, I have a student that's in the back, one of my clients, Miss Brenda. We call her our DJ. Brenda has lost over 50 pounds. Go Brenda. I have people always walking up to me, just hugging me to say, you know, Miss Wanda, thank you so much. And I'm like, okay, because I'm thinking, you paid, right? That's the first I'm thinking. When they say thank you, I'm like, oh, did they let you in free? You know, you did pay. But what it is, and then we'll laugh, but what it is they're saying thank you because I have lost 20 pounds. I've lost 15 pounds. You know what? I'm not on my blood pressure medicine anymore. My doctor took me off of my medicine. And why? They're thinking, and it wasn't even hard. I came in here with you. We laughed. We had fun. We have a great class. And when you do that, it just starts to happen. So it becomes a habit because you're having fun. All right? And you get my age, you can't go out to the club on Friday nights no more. I mean, that is, you can't get away with that. So we club at the Zumba. So we are going to actually do a demonstration. The skirt that you see here, and I did bring flyers. My classes, they are $5 drop in. Because again, I don't want to add to the stress. So when I start telling you pay in advance and, you know, come up with $50, and that's stress. Because you're thinking, is it my health or my light bill, right? What it's going to be. So what I say is $5. You scrape up the quarters, the nickels, the dimes, whatever you want to do, we take it. All right? But you come in and you pay when you can. When you can go, when you can come, that's when you come. So it's not like I have to go because I paid in advance. This, everybody sees as a belly dance skirt. Well, we use them as Zumba skirts. Why? Because when I get you to moving, and we're going to go do a demonstration, you're not even going to know your hips move like that no more. I have people come to class, and then they look all shy, and I be saying, like, come on now, we're going to roll. Because when you're doing movements like this, what you are doing, you're stretching and releasing your abdominal muscles. So, I mean, it may look like you're doing a little, you know, something you shouldn't be doing, but you're really not. You're working those muscles and having fun doing it, okay? Listen to your favorite songs. So, we're going to go out. We're going to do a little movement. I always tell people, it's okay if you go to church Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Sunday extra, and Sunday extra, extra. When we start moving, it's not even about that, all right? And I say that because people go like, oh, I shouldn't be, you know, moving like that. Oh, you should be moving like that, all right? So let's go out. We're going to have some fun, ladies.
And let me say this,
gentlemen.
when you all finish, you can go straight. You don't have to come back in here. Just come back and get your books or whatever you need to leave in. But you will go straight to the cafeteria to get your lunch. I need to pass you out, everybody out, to get their lunch.